Thank you so much, Najma ji, for talking to Frontline. I want to begin the interview by asking you about your primary area of work, Parliament. You have written in your book that as presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha, you ensured the opposition had its say in the House. Do you agree with the perception that in recent years, the voice of the opposition is getting stifled in Parliament?
I read something, the Vice President's statement about democracy and diversity and unity and all that. I fully agree with him that we have to keep the dignity of the House and of a country also, and of a democracy. In a good, healthy democracy, the opposition also play a major role, because if there is no opposition, then the government goes whichever way it wants. Like it happened in Rajiv Gandhi's time after Indira Gandhi. He got such a massive majority in Lok Sabha that there were no opposition. So he didn't know the view of the opposition. And for a healthy democracy, there should be a responsible opposition, not just opposition for the sake of opposing. It should be with responsibility, their viewpoint. Because I remember uh, uh, when the something happened in Lok Sabha and Shivraj suspended some members of opposition members of Lok Sabha. So I jokingly told him, "Are you presiding over the Congress session now?" Because there were no opposition, they were all suspended. And we shared this. Then Sheila Dikshit and HKL Bhagat, they were parliamentary affair minister and minister of state. They came to me, "You also suspend the opposition." I said, "Why should I do it?" So he said, "They make noise." I said, "That is my responsibility to keep them quiet. Making noise, even in House of, Commonwealth, in not Commonwealth, in England, they make noise. They call it filibustering. They talk any nonsense. So I said, if they are shouting, it is my responsibility to keep them quiet. But I cannot throw them out until they have committed uh, something against the parliamentary rules and regulations and functioning. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I said, Rajiv ji wants it. I said, I'll talk to Rajiv ji and explain to him. So I went to Rajiv ji and I said, "Sir, why you want them to be suspended?" He said, "They make noise." I said, "Sir, if they make noise in the parliament, at least I can hear them and stop them. But if they go on the street and make noise, I would have no chance to do it. And you are in a position, different opposition. Now, one day you will have majority and you will be in power. And suppose the same thing happens, what would you do? So let's not make a wrong example. I have volunteered to be the deputy chairman when you ask. I'll manage them. So don't worry about it. But I don't believe in suspending the members without any valid reason. So he said they want me to throw you out. I said, okay, throw me out. So he said, Now I will, no, I'll tell, I don't want to throw you out. I will tell them Najma has put on too much weight, I can't throw her out. So, so we had this exchange of joke and things settled down finally. So this is how I feel that opposition has a role to play in any democracy, but they should play responsibly, and whatever discussions are there, they should participate, put their own views, and let there be a decision by the House what they feel about. There are many such rulings which I have given because there were situations when Beaufort's issue came in and Fairfax came and I don't know what all. There was Harshad Mehta and also House used to be very turbulent those days. Not easy, very, very difficult. And you can manage it if you use little uh, diplomacy. And secondly, you must have the confidence of the members. They should feel you are non-partisan. If the image goes they are partisan, then it is difficult. But if the image is of the presiding officer that you're non-partisan, then things work.
Yes, it's really interesting that you spoke about the importance of the presiding officer, being seen as a non-partisan, person. Um, in that context, I would want to ask you about the no confidence motion that the opposition wants to bring against the Rajya Sabha chairman Jagdeep Dhankhar. And this is like the first in the history of the Indian Parliament. Yeah,
It is
and they accuse him of being partisan, accuse him of behaving as the spokesperson of the government. So, how do you look at this scenario?
there are always the allegations against me also. They used to say I'm getting the things done and business. The first responsibility of any presiding officer is to get the government business conducted. That's the house is for. So getting the bills passed, getting the legislation. But that doesn't mean he's or she's partisan. That's the basic responsibility. And it never happened in the history that the opposition will uh, bring such a no confidence motion. And I think it is wrong to have such a to make such an example or a demand even for it, because after all the the chairman of the Rajya Sabha is also the vice president of the country. And we should have that kind of a respect for him. Naturally, it is his responsibility to get the government business conducted. It is his duty and responsibility constitutionally. He has to do it. And he is a constitutional authority. But the opposition can talk about the issues on the floor of the House. And there is always a business advisory committee. We decide the business of the House. And in that committee, opposition and the ruling, they both are represented and they discuss. Every week we used to have that committee meeting. And there it was decided. So they can talk to the chairman in his chamber, not in the House. They can complain, say whatever they like about their issues in a business advisory committee or otherwise go and talk to him in his chamber. But to show this disrespect to the chair, I think I'm not happy with it. I think it is not correct.
There seems to be this breakdown of communication between the opposition and the government. And there's this huge gap between the treasury and the opposition, the immense bitterness. So, in this kind of a situation, do you think it's also important for the government to try and reach out to the opposition, have some sort of a give and take? You spoke about diplomacy, some sort of a give and take that can be worked out to ensure the parliament functions.
Yeah, it is always necessary. It is always necessary to run a parliament, to a healthy democracy, and to get the business of the house done. That there should be a dialogue between opposition and the government. And I think the parliamentary affairs minister, Kiran Rijiju, mm, must be doing that because and and I was not the chairman of the house. I was only deputy chairman of the house. But as I used to preside the whole day, I had the responsibility to bring the government and the opposition together in my chamber and ask them to talk what do they want. And the parliamentary affairs minister can talk in the chamber of the chairman with the opposition. And I don't think the opposition will not agree to participate. After all, they are elected to participate in discussion in the legislations and other issues which are concerning them in their constituencies, in their state. So this impasse will have to be somehow resolved. But I feel one should respect the presiding officer, whether it is the chairman or it is the deputy chairman, or even the vice chairmen who preside during the absence of the chairman and deputy chairman.
Mm,
Now, when K.K. Tiwari criticized Shankar Dayal Sharma, he was reprimanded
mm,
for that. Though it was a mild reprimand, but Rajiv ji sent him to the house, before the bar of the house, to be reprimanded. This is an example that he asked him to go and face the house because Rajiv ji respected the chair very much.
right. Um, I would like to ask you about your equation with Sonia Gandhi, former Congress President Sonia Gandhi. You've written in the book, I'll quote from the book: "The fact that Sonia Gandhi became the longest serving president of the Congress party is not a matter of pride in a democracy, but rather a cause for lament." Many people would have a different view about, Sonia Gandhi's presidentship of the Congress Party. So, if you could please elaborate on why you have this really strong view about the way Sonia Gandhi led the party.
No, no, it is not only Sonia Gandhi. Anybody, you continue to be the president. The party should also have a healthy democracy within the party. Many people should get the chance. It always happened. Even, you know, if this was the Congress tradition because my grandfather, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, he was the Congress president twice in 1922 and then again in 1939, 40, when the Quit India resolution was passed. It was under his presidentship. Nehruji was the president. There were many, many presidents. So it was always The president changed after few years of working. There was a term I now don't remember exactly, so I don't want to quote wrong. But if you go back in the history of Congress, there were regular elections and a president was elected of the party. And so I come from Congress background. My grandfather spent 12 years of his life in jail. He fought for the freedom of the country. He was opposing the partition. So all that is my background. And I feel that the party should have a regular constitution which the party has. I don't think they are following the constitution of the Congress. That's what I reacted. I have no problem with. I mean, not even. I mean, in parliament now or in politics. I'm retired. I was governor. So after that, I don't know what is happening and what. Don't want to comment on it. But this is what my background is, and that's what my understanding is.
You recall one instance in the book where when you were elected president of IPU and you tried to get in touch with Sonia Gandhi and you were kept on hold for a long time. Uh, and you also write about a communication gap between you and her, and some sort of a mistrust had, come in. And so, was this the main reason why you decided this communication gap or this lack of trust? Was this the reason why you finally decided that it was time for you to move on and, um, you know, sever your ties with the Congress?
You see, it's a long time ago. I've forgotten also what happened. It happened, things happen. But one thing is for sure not for me, for anybody, for you too. You are working in the for your newspaper or any television channel. If you if your seniors lose confidence in you, would you be happy? Would you like to continue in that way? Everybody wants to work with the confidence of their leader. If there is no confidence, it not only hurts, but there's no point in it because you're not taken into consideration. And what's the point to be in a position where you're not being taken, your opinion is not taken into consideration? It's better to move on. And I have moved on. I wish them well. I wish her well. She's Indira Gandhi's daughter in law, Rajiv Ji. I had a wonderful relation with Rajiv Ji, very one to one relation. Um, she's his wife. So I wish her well. And it is for their party to decide what they want to do. I'm nobody to come to that.
Yeah. And you had an extremely close association with the Gandhi family. I mean, starting from the time of Jawaharlal Nehru, uh,
Yeah, my
you
book
had
has got
familiar.
photographs of
Yes,
me.
and
Uh, he always visited our house whenever he came to meet my grandmother, Maulana Azad's sister. And whenever I travel, before I became an MP, of course, I became MP only in 1980 with Indraji. I used to come and stay at Tinmurti house, always. And when Indraji was out of power, she used to come and stay in my house and in Bombay. And I've written about it in the book. And Sonia ji knows about. It's not that she doesn't know. She knows that I used to come when Mrs. Gandhi was out of power. I was motivating that different the distance between Shahi Imam and all those Muslim leaders. I brought them together. I arranged all those dinners with the ambassador of uh, Saudi Arabia and others, so that the Muslims should come back to the Congress. And and she is a witness to it.
So the next generation of the Gandhi family is at the helm now. Rahul Gandhi is a leader of opposition. How do you look at the way he has grown as a leader?
They are communicating with people. They are like Indira Gandhi, because Indira Gandhi's house was an open house. Anybody and everybody could come and talk to her, whether politician or just ordinary people. So she knew the on what is happening at the grassroots in the country, what's going on. She made a mistake when she brought the emergency, that she was cut off from the people. And during that period, I used to tell her a few things. Like, for example, I mentioned about the standing in the queue for buying the milk for my daughter. She knew that the milk is not available. Who will go and tell her if she's not meeting people? So I used to indirectly write, not directly ever talk to her about emergency. But I wrote like things that the farmers are very unhappy because they are being treated badly by the local authorities, patwaris and others. So she immediately changed the uh, wheat takeover policy, food grains takeover policy. So someone should keep a communication with the leadership, and that is very important. So,
Priyanka Gandhi is also in parliament. She is a member of the Lok Sabha and she made her
oh,
maiden speech in the Lok Sabha today. So
I didn't hear
comparisons
it.
have been made between her and Indira Gandhi. So uh, how do you?
I didn't hear her, but she looks very much like Indira Gandhi. Even my daughter looks very much like Indira Gandhi. She's got the white hair like her. Hmm.
Okay.
Rajiv ji used to, I showed once a photograph of my daughter. She was very young. She was about 8. And she's standing over there. So I said, "Sir, who is this?" She says, "Of course, my mother." I said, "No, sir, it's my daughter." He laughed. And at that time, she was too young to have the white hair. She was like a young girl. So because at that time when I was carrying her, in my house, there were only issue of Indira Gandhi, nothing else. So perhaps nature had this miracle.
But did you continue to be in touch with Sonia Gandhi after you left the Congress? Did you ever reach out to her after that?
There were no opportunity because as a minister, I was busy working for the development of not just Muslims, but Parsis and Buddhists and Christians and Jains, because these small communities have got their issues. However small they may be community wise, but the issues are there. And the Muslim, though everybody talked about the secularism doesn't fill your stomach. It it needs to think about their education and their job creation. And there are many skilled Muslim people in Banaras itself. Those weavers are all Muslim in Kashmir and even in Bihar. The handicraft, the wood carvers, the metal workers, the people in Firozabad who make the glass things and bangles, They are all Muslims traditionally doing these jobs. So it was necessary that I should focus on their economic upbuilding because no country can be called developed if a major section of its community is underdeveloped. It has to be a proper development, not the lopsided development. So, and at that time, Modi ji's program also, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So that Sabka Saath, I was doing Sabka Vikas to create Sabka Saath and Sabka Viswas. That was my focus on. And I did it. And I must say, uh, Modi ji never interfered in my ministry. He never said anything which was me to stop doing anything. He appreciated what I was doing. I got the loan support from the World Bank, and that program of mine, the World Bank used in African countries for the development of their people. So I was more focused on my work, and then I went to Manipur, where there were time to meet anyone, except my journalist friends. I came to your I was very much involved in the women's core, the house.
IWPC. Hmm.
Yeah,
Right. Uh, yeah, but moving to the BJP must not have been easy, and your critics, would say that you made an ideological compromise.
I was, you see, BJP is a political party. It's not a religious party. It's a political party. And like any political party, like communists have got a different ideology. They don't believe in religion, but there are Muslims in it. Christians are there. Because we don't go to a political party for this to protect our religion. It is a political party, and we are there for their programs. What is their program? What they do? So, what was the BJP's? It was a program. They talked about unity. I was very close to the RSS leader when I was in Congress. I used to meet them, talk to them, discuss with them the issues, and they were open to me, the previous one and the present one. I met them in Nagpur and talked to them. In a democracy, you can't shun people. You have to have a dialogue. What is the meaning of parlez-vous from the word to speak? It's a French word from where the parliament came. It means you have to have a dialogue. You should speak. So the parliament in itself comes about with the concept of a dialogue. So in and out. And I feel the religious leaders, whichever religion they belong, they should do their responsibilities of teaching their people what is true teaching of religion is. In Islam, it is lakum dinakum waliyadin. My faith is with me, your faith is with you. It has nothing to do with politics. And the Hindu concept uh, is is Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. So let's live like a one country and think about the people who don't even get 2 square meals. Still, we have poverty. Still, we have an education. Still, though I'm very happy, I read on the internet that our FDI increased a lot and people are coming. And I give this credit originally, who started it, is Narasimha Rao. He, with the as Manmohan Singh as his um, finance minister, opened the economy. There is no black money now. Nobody keeps the money in the lockers because that black money is useless. What you people could do, could buy jewelry for their wife. They could not invest in business. So it was dead money. So now that money is out, it is in the market. That's why India is flourishing today. People are sending, when they are working abroad, they are sending their money back from the Gulf and other countries where they are employed, or even from America. They are sending their money back home and it is invested properly. How this foreign investment came? It's Indians also investing. Big businessmen are coming in investing in India. So we should look more positively than negatively.
Uh, as Minority Affairs Minister, you had undertaken a project to identify and oversee the development of Waqf properties. So, I would like to ask you about this huge opposition that there is right now to the Waqf Amendment Bill, which was brought in. So, how do you look at the bill, the proposed legislation,
Buck
and the
bill,
position of it? Yes.
I don't know. I haven't seen what is the details of the Buck bill or various clauses. But the work property, when I was there, the work property, the work was under the minority ministry. The work, people did it in certain work. There were specific identification for what the money has to be used. And in some, they just they made the property. Work mean trust. So they used to make trust or the work for for the people to make their own decision depending on the need of the people. Now, I noticed that in some certain cases, the family were becoming the chairman of their that particular work, and they were misusing it. Some of them, not all. Some of them were not using for what the buck were made. And the buck property was illegally occupied and even sold and turned into some other business thing by those people. So there was a need to correct it. I did lot of corrections in it and amended it a bit. But I don't know what is the dispute about the Waqf bill. The parliamentary committee, I think, examined it and they will submit their report to the parliament. Then perhaps I will have a look at it.
So we have just 2 minutes left in this meeting. So to wrap up, I would like to ask you about Manipur. Your last stint, your last office was as governor of Manipur, and you were taking certain initiatives there. And the situation had become quite normal when you were governor there. So how do you see the situation in Manipur right now, and what do you think needs to be done to sort of end this circle of violence in Manipur?
Again, I will use the word dialogue, discussion, talk, because uh, when I went there, it was in terrible situation. There were blockades, nothing was available in the market. I used to take meat and vegetables from Delhi by air, and because nothing was available over there. So the thing was that I called the leaders. Their major people are Nagas, Metais, and Kukis. They are major tribes, and other small tribes are there. I called the leaders. I said, "Why you're fighting? And this fighting and band and blockade, no development is taking place. No tourism is developing. Nothing. You are people are going hungry. And what are you getting out of it? You are hurting your own people. Government is not hurt. In Delhi, everybody is happy. But you are suffering. Your state is not developed. Come sit. If you don't want to sit in the government building, sit in Raj Bhavan. It's not government. I will not interfere in it. You sit across the table and talk and settle it. They did talk, and then things settled down. It became so peaceful that people started. Otherwise, 8 o'clock, all the doors were closed, market was closed. Then it became so peaceful that the president came, the vice president came for a conference, the prime minister came for science congress. I organized this. I was a member of the science congress since I was in college. So I 2000 delegates came from all over, and prime minister addressed them. He came for that. Then the other ministers, agriculture minister, develop Aluwalia was the minister. He came. Many people came over there. Many ministers came, and tourism started. I got a direct flight from Delhi to Imphal, and then I started the development program for women. In Emma Market is the market where 12,000 women work. Women are very empowered in Manipur. They work. But because of this blockades and bans, they were also suffering. So I did all these programs for them. There used to be a festival, Sangai festival for Sitaraman came, and where there are dances and music and all that. And there are exhibitions of the people who are the artisans there. So it became very peaceful. So the basic thing is to have a dialogue, to let the people know that there is somebody who's listening to you, that there are issues which can be solved. And there is no issue in the world which cannot be solved. If the Second World War and the First World War stopped, and then people had a dialogue, the peace came in the world. Why can't this small level, the peace cannot come? So it is involvement with the people, talking to them. My daughter came and gave lecture in the college about develop about medicines and children's development. She's a doctor here in America. Her daughter distributed books to the orphan children. In Raj Bhavan, I used to invite the orphan children to have a party and play. I used to play, celebrate Holi, Diwali, Christmas, everything. I opened the Raj Bhavan. I said, nobody is going to kill me. And if they do, it's okay. No problem. So I used to go on the road and walked with the people. They were having a procession of they believe in Krishna very much. So they were dancing and there was some festival, and they would walk. I got my car, stopped, and got down. My security people were so nervous. I went, nothing will happen to me. I just went there on the street and walked with them. I held their hand and did whatever they were doing. So they felt, and now they write to me, come back to Manipur, we miss you. I said, no, I'm too far. And there are a lot of Manipuri people in Chicago with whom I have a very close contact. So it's the way you handle dialogue. communication, parlez-vous, talk. That is the only thing. God has given us the tongue to speak. Why we are superior? Because we can talk and communicate.
Now, Rahul
I
Gandhi,
wish,
yeah,
yeah,
Rahul Gandhi has been to Manipur twice, and the demand from him, his party, is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi should also visit the state. They ask why has he not visited Manipur so far, that the state needs his healing touch.
I don't know. There is no governor there. uh, because governor is always non-partisan, not part of the government. It's not associated with any political party or side or tribe. I like one thing in Manipur very much, the elopement. It is perhaps people don't know that Rukumani, the princess, was getting married and she didn't want to marry that particular person whom she was to be married. So she prayed to Krishna, save me. Krishna came and eloped with her and took her to Gujarat. So that is why there is a tradition among Metas to elope. The girl and the boy, they run away, they stay for 2, 3 days together, then they come back, and then the regular marriage takes place. So it's in the memory of Krishna. They are all believers of Krishna.
Okay, ma'am, thank you so much for talking to Frontline.